Hey guys, welcome to the channel, Smart Money Bro channel here on YouTube, and we're also live on Facebook as well, and a couple other places. I think we're actually on Twitter again today as well. So don't let distractions steal your money, steal your financial foundation. That's our topic today, guys. So let me know if you can hear me. Just give me a thumbs up or something if you can hear me. Just doing an audio check here. We usually come on, guys, on Saturdays at 11 a.m. and then we also do a live on Thursday afternoons at 4:30, and anywhere in between that something happens. So let me know if you can hear me, guys, on this stream. I'm going to be laying out some stuff today on this live, guys. So you might want to share this video with family, with friends. This live is going to be what they used to call all the way live, right? Late 70s and 80s call it all the way live. But this is going to be some really good information that I'm going to share with you guys today, and I just want you to be here to check it out. And if this is your first time visiting, please consider subscribing to the channel, all right? Let me know if you can hear me. Look, and also tell me where you're from. I always like to get a hey and see where you guys are from. I see Enrique is from Texas. Good to have you in. Emerald is from Niles, Michigan, looks like. And then we got Get the Memo. Good to have you. Good to see you in here. Get the Memo. Las Vegas, Nevada. Good to have you here. Good day. Make sure you guys can hear me. Yes, thank you so much for letting me know. By the book says I'm from San Diego. We usually get people from all over the country and all over the world in here, guys. So, excellent. Somebody's from South Africa. Good to have you in here. Zaningi. And then Elsa says she's from, or he or she's from San Francisco. And we got somebody in Alaska. Good to have you here. Someone else from Las Vegas. Moriko is from Tulsa, Oklahoma. We got the UK in here as well. London is in the house. Good to have you guys. And on Facebook, looks like we got some folks from Topeka, Kansas. We got some folks from KC Kansas City, Missouri as well. So we got folks from all over, guys. Again, this is probably one you don't want to miss. So you want to tune into this one, guys. A few housekeeping things. Well, first of all, guys, I'm going to express some things to you and share some things with you that I've been thinking about. And between the conversations I have every week with folks about their money, questions I get, comments, all these things, there was really something that stuck out this past week. And I want to share that with you guys on this video. And then I also want to do a little Q&A, as we always do on Saturday mornings. A little bit of Q&A, question and answer, and just have some back and forth. I do, first of all, want to thank you guys for growing this channel. This channel is up to 86,000 strong right now and growing. Okay, so we're adding folks all the time. We're close to being a 100,000 subscriber channel. So this is the real deal. This is all the time and effort that was put into this channel is starting to grow, and I certainly appreciate you guys for it. A few housekeeping things before we really jump into it. Then I'm going to break down what I'm going to share with you guys, and then we'll do some Q&A, like I said. And I love to hear from you guys. That's what it's all about, is back and forth conversation. I don't like spending a lot of time just talking at you. I want to spend some time talking with you, right? So this is, conversational. We'll get back and forth. Towards the second half of this live broadcast, we'll start the Q&A, and you'll always want to put a Q in there. A couple things, guys. Free stuff. In the description box of this channel on YouTube, you'll see the 24 Laws of Money. It's a free ebook, and it's 24 principles that help me grow my net worth from negative 30,000 to 7 figures today. Speaking of that, tomorrow we're going to do our first members only live stream. And that members only live stream is going to dig behind the scenes of my net worth. I'm going to show you my net worth and just open up the transparency to those that have joined. It doesn't take much to join, guys. Just click on the little join button right there next to on YouTube, and you join, and you get a chance to see some behind the scenes and so forth. So I'm going to open that up to you guys that join. We'll have that tomorrow at 11 a.m. I'm sorry, I said it wrong. Tomorrow at 1 p.m. We're going to do that. So if you want to join the channel, go ahead and join the channel below. A couple bucks a month at the least. All right, so let's see, we got, also please subscribe to this channel, guys, if you're not already a subscriber, and smash the like button as you come in. Hit that like button for me, guys. We have partnered with Mint Mobile on this. live stream. So, and I use Mint Mobile, excellent service. You know, the world's largest 5G. So you don't sacrifice. You know, data's not a problem. Drop calls is not a problem, and they cut out the middleman, so it's much less expensive than other cell phone plans. They don't have stores and don't have salespeople. And also the best way to support this channel, guys, is make sure you share this video. So I appreciate you guys being here, and let's talk about it. So let me look at the chat, see where you guys are from. Dat Boy, hey, appreciate you. Dat Boy Will from New Orleans. Good to have you in here. If you make about $20,000 to $30,000 a year, this is the channel for you. Okay, this is the channel for you. This is not a channel that's talking to people that are $200,000 a year. Now, if you make $200,000 a year, great. But if you only make $20,000 to $30,000 a year, that's cool too. I'm going to drop some nuggets for you. You need to listen up to this, because this will be super important for you that are starting out. Because I was once where you were, right? My first job out of college, I made $22,000. Of course, that was back in 1994. But, you know, things have changed. Let's put it like that. Okay, I'm glad I pronounced that name right. Zaningi. Robert's out of Lakewood, Washington. Good to have you, Robert. New Jersey in the house. Deborah, thank you for being here. Thanks for smashing that like button. Carol from Tulsa, appreciate it. And Marie from Paris. Marie from Paris. Good. Paris. Good to have you in here. So let's jump into it, guys. First things first. Baseball. Do we have any baseball fans in the house? Any baseball fans in the house? I'm a baseball guy. I love baseball, right? It's the very first organized sport that I ever played was baseball. If you're a baseball fan, just put a 1 or something in the chat so I can see if we have any baseball fans in the house. Anybody enjoy baseball? Let's see. Anybody? Somebody. I love baseball. I think baseball is a great sport. And right now we got the baseball playoffs going on. Shy City loves baseball too. Baseball is a fun game to watch. I played growing up. John says he played growing up. Good to have you, John. Good to see you again. I'm a baseball fan. I mean, I like all sports, right? I coached basketball for about 13 years. Youth sports, youth basketball, middle school, high school, boys, girls, didn't matter. I coached a lot of basketball, played a lot of basketball all my life, but my first love was baseball because that's the first sport that I actually played. Somebody's a Phillies fan in here. Good. Guys, let me ask you a question, okay? Quick question. The baseball field, if you look at a baseball field, it has 2 very important positions on defense. 2 very important positions on defense, Vince. And now, if you can, let me know in the chat, guys, what do you think these 2 very important, I think they're the most important positions are on defense. What do you think they are? And don't worry, guys. I'm going somewhere. This is all about money. Trust me. The baseball field has 2 very, very important positions on there. And both of these positions, by the way, they do what? I mean, if you think about it. Well, let's just let's figure this out. Somebody said I sound like the late great Tony Gwynn, one of the greatest hitters of all time for the Padres, I think. Tony Gwynn was a great hitter. But both of the 2 most important positions on defense in baseball is what? 2 most important positions. Somebody said the pitcher and the manager. Shortstop and right field, said Jay. Pitcher and first base. Let's see. Somebody else said first base and shortstop are the 2 most important positions on defense. Somebody said catcher and shortstop. I like that. Okay, catcher and shortstop. Okay, guys, think about it for a second, all right? The 2 most important positions, in my opinion, the 2 most important positions on a baseball field are the pitcher and the catcher. Like nobody said the catcher, right? One person said the catcher. But the pitcher and the catcher are the 2 most important people on defense when it comes to baseball, because both of them are sort of directing themselves and protecting what? They're protecting home plate, right? They're the closest to home plate, the pitcher. Pitcher's probably, pitcher's maybe a little closer than the first base and third baseman. But the pitcher and the catcher, they protect home, right? The first baseman protects first base, right? Second baseman protects second base. Shortstop protects the area between, second base and third, and the third baseman protects third base. But they don't count runs on on first base. They don't count runs on second base. Or do they? No, they don't. If you go to first base, they don't count that as a run, right? When the ball goes to the outfield, they don't count that as a run. They only count runs when a player on the other side of the team, other side of the field, touches what? Home base, right? So home base is the most important base of the four bases on a baseball field. Home base matters more than any other base. Second base don't matter as much as home. You can get to second base. Doesn't mean you score a run. You can get to third base. Doesn't mean you're going to score a run. So the two people on the baseball field protecting home are the two most important people on the defensive side of the baseball field, the pitcher and the catcher. Now, between the pitcher and the catcher, you guys tell me in the chat, between the pitcher and the catcher, which one of those two positions do you think is the absolute most important? The absolute most important, pitcher or catcher? On a baseball field. We're talking baseball defense, right? Who's the most important, the pitcher or the catcher? Let me know in the comments, guys. I want to get your feedback because I like this thing to be sort of interactive sometimes as opposed to me just spitting a lot of stuff at you, right? So who is it? Pitcher, catcher? In your opinion. I have my opinion very clear. My opinion is very clear. And it's a part of this particular video, this particular live. It's about money. This is all about money, and I'll bring it home about money in just a bit. But the pitcher or the catcher, most important. Now, most people, well, I won't even say most people. Let me see what you guys say. Some say catcher. One says pitcher. Jay said catcher, okay? Cruz said pitcher. And let me say this. Most people would say that the pitcher on a baseball field is the most important position, the absolute most important pitcher or most important position. Elliot mentioned one of my Negro leaguers, Satchel Paige, one of the greatest of all times, was a pitcher. Most people would say it's a pitcher that is the most important. My opinion, I say it's the catcher by far. The catcher, in my opinion, guys, is by far the most important person to the overall defense on a baseball field. Now, why do I say the catcher? And I'm going to bring it home to money, okay? We're talking about money and personal finances, okay? Because this is a money channel, right? But I want to give this illustration to you guys, right? Why do I say the catcher is the absolute most important defensive player on a football field, on a baseball field, right? The catcher is the manager on the field. In case for some of you that don't know what a catcher does, the catcher's kind of like that defensive line, right? In football, right? Nobody really knows what they do, but they're probably the most important piece to the whole game. The catcher is the most important piece to a defense in baseball, right? He's the manager on the field. He's the manager on the field. He's in every single play. He has to catch every single ball that's coming to him, or else, guess what, guys? Runners score. He directs the outfield, tells them where to be, how to shift, how to move based on who's up to bat. He has to know all the batters. He has to know every single batter, what their tendencies are, right? He's talking to the batters, right? He's the only one that can get in the batter's ear and say little stuff to the batter to throw him off, right? He's also talking to the umpire on a regular basis. And the umpire's calling the balls and strikes, right? The catcher is also, in case you guys didn't know, the catcher is telling the pitchers what to throw. They're giving signals to the pitcher on what to throw, how to throw it, where not to throw it. And he's catching and moving the ball into the strike zone. You ever see a good catcher catch, right? The ball will come out here, but he'll move it over a little bit, right, to try to fool the umpire. He's doing everything, right? He's blocking and protecting what? What is he blocking? What did we just say was the most important base in a baseball game? The most important base is what? Home plate. So the person that protects home plate is the most important person. The first baseman, they don't count runs on first base. They don't count runs on first base. Yeah, he's protecting first, but somebody can get on first, no big deal. Nobody can get and stay on home base. Once you get on home base, that's a run. So the catcher is protecting home base. When a pitcher walks a batter, he goes to first base. If a pitcher walked the next batter, he'll go to first and he'll go to second, right? But they don't count any of those runs. Now, if the catcher misses a ball that's thrown by the pitcher and the ball gets behind the catcher, guess what happens? The runner from second base can come all the way around, score at home base, right? So the catcher has to be catching everything. He does everything on the field well. He has to catch very well. He has to field very well. He has to throw very well in case he has to throw a runner out somewhere. He has to manage the game very well. He has to manage the pitcher and the pitches. He's doing it all, or she's doing it all. Whoever's catching is doing it all. He's telling the outfielders how to shift, right? What to do. He protects home base, right? He protects home base. The catcher is the primary defender on the baseball field. When you even look at the way a diamond is shaped, right? If you look at how a diamond is shaped, it is all funneled back to one spot on the field, which is home base, right? Left field, right field, first base, etc. They all point to one very, very important base, right? That's home base. And who plays home base on a football field? on a baseball field. That's the catcher, right? Defending home base. It's the absolute most important base. Home is the base where they count runs. The position that protects the most important base is the most important player defending, and that is the catcher. The catcher's not designed to go over to first base or second base or third base because they don't count those. He's designed for one reason: protect home. That's why he's in every single play, right? So here's why I'm going to bring it home to you guys, right? Here's what I'm really trying to explain to you about baseball and about our money, right? When you're talking about dealing with your money, working with your money, managing your money, you have to be the catcher in your own home with your money. You have to protect home, right? You have to protect your foundation, your base with your money, your home. You have to tell your money what to do, how fast or slow, where to go, how to go. You're going to do, what to do what you need it to do, right? You have to be in on every single play when it comes to your personal finances and your money, just like a catcher is in on every single play in a baseball game. You have to get the ground balls, right? The pop-ups, throw people out on first, throw issues and situations out on second, see who's trying to steal home. That's why the name of the title of this is Don't Let Distractions Steal Your Money, like people are stealing home on a catcher, right? You got to block the plate, so to speak, block the noise, block out things from home base, block out the fast-talking gurus, right? The scammers, right? Block out the people and the stuff and the bad behaviors that has been scoring runs on you and your money for years and years and years, right? I mean, think about it, guys. When you was 22 years old and you thought about getting that higher paying skill and you didn't because you thought it would be too hard, and today you make $40,000 a year when you know you really should be making $100,000 a year, right? They scored on you. Right? When you was 30 years old and you had that opportunity to start investing your money and putting 10% or 15% towards investments, but you didn't, you got scored on like a catcher. Somebody went right behind you and scored on you. When you spent $30,000 on that used car, right? $30,000 on that brand new car, right? And you knew you probably should have got the car that was $15,000, right? And you end up making $500 worth of payments for the next 5 years on a depreciating asset called a car. You got scored on. Somebody went right behind your back. You wasn't protecting home base, right? When you didn't contribute to your 401k for 10 years at your job and you only contributed 3% when you knew you should have been contributing 12%. You could have done it, but you didn't do it. Instead, you took those vacations and all that. Listen, they scored on you, right? Every time you take that, I'm not going to go into that. I'm just saying, guys, you want to make sure that you watch your back like a catcher watches their back, right? When you mess up with your money, someone scored on you because you weren't protecting home. Now, all of us have done it. If you follow this channel, I've given you many instances of where I got scored on. I wasn't protecting home, and I made a lot of mistakes with money, a lot of mistakes. But I did a few things right. I turned around, got some correction, started protecting home base better as I got a little bit older, right? So, how many runs have you given up as a catcher? As a catcher, how many runs have you given up that have gone right behind your back and you missed it with your personal finances? See, if you aren't where you want to be right now with your money, perhaps you gave up too many runs and you were not protecting the base that you're designed and assigned to protect, right? Because most of us, me included, was not taught to protect home base with our money, right? We were not taught to protect our money, right? We were not taught to build our financial foundation first. We were taught to focus attention on getting more money instead of focusing attention on protecting and managing the money that we have, right? We weren't taught to protect and manage home base. We were taught to just, do what we can do, try to get by, scrape by, right? We weren't taught to be those good managers, right? We were taught to be good spenders or good consumers with our money, good starters and poor finishers, right? Good on second base, good on getting the first base, right? Good out in the outfield, right? But terrible at blocking the plate, terrible at managing home, right? So we get easily distracted. Many of us get easily distracted by distractions that steal home on us. When we turn our back and when we aren't looking and we aren't focused and don't have our home base covered, right? From here on out, guys, one of the important things you want to do, you got to put on the gear, so to speak. You got to put on the armor, right? The pad. You look at all the stuff that a catcher in a baseball game puts on. He puts all that on because he's the most important defensive player. He's in every play. That little ball that could knock somebody out, right, and give somebody a concussion, put your teeth out. He's got to protect himself from that because he's seeing it 90, 100 times a game, 150 times a game. That thing is coming at him, right? So you, in your own life, with your own money, you have to put on the chest pad. You got to put on the knee protector, right? The cup, right? The armor, the face mask. Protect your future financial life at all cost. You have to protect your home base, protect your personal finance, protect your goals, protect your dreams with your money, protect your vision that you have with your money, right? Just like a catcher has the best view of the rest of the field that's out in front of him, you, just like a catcher, you have the best view of your personal financial life that's out there in front of you. See, the pitcher is cool, but the pitcher has his back to the rest of the field, right? Pitcher is only focused on that batter. Yeah, he has to focus on the man on first, man on second, but he's primarily focused on that batter. So his back is to the rest of the field. The third baseman, his back is over to left field, right? The right fielder he don't know what's going on. He can see barely, right? If he got good eyes, he can see what's going on third base. But the catcher, just like you, can see everything. Got the best view. You got the best view of your money, not me, not the guru on YouTube or on IG. You got the best view of your money, right? You got to play home base. You have to protect it. You have to take care of home first. You have to control home when it comes to your money. And a lot of us fail because we get distracted. There's a lot of things that are distracting us, right? Pulling us from our financial destiny, our financial future, pulling us off of our financial base, so to speak, right? Look, how many times in a baseball game do you see a catcher go over to first base, hang out around first base, leave home empty, and go hang out at second base out there, right? Does the catcher ever go out to left field and hang out? No, he doesn't do that. See, the catcher can't afford to play around. The catcher can't afford to get off focus and allow distractions to bother him. In fact, if you've ever been to a baseball game, the catcher is not as close to the fans, right? There's some cushion between the catcher and the fans sometimes. I mean, a big baseball game, right? Right? He's got on all this mask and gear and stuff because he's got to be focused every moment of a baseball game. Now, when I played baseball, I was a catcher. And I love being a catcher because you're not out there, wondering, hoping, and seeing if the ball's going to come to you. It's coming to you every single play, right? If a catcher is unfocused, they miss something. And if the catcher misses something important, someone's going to score or something's going to score a run on him when he's distracted, right? He can't afford, just like you, can't afford for things to pull you off your base. Right? You can't afford to be pulled every which way and distracted by this scam and this guru that wants you to go, spend $30,000 for a weekend boot camp. And if you do $30,000 weekend boot camps, that's cool. I'm not mad at you. But sometimes those things become distractions. Oftentimes, right? This podcast, this person's standing by the Ferrari, or not Ferrari nowadays, but what is a fancy car? Mercedes, whatever it may be. This fast money scheme and this those are distractions. I'm not saying don't go out and try to build a business, build a side hustle. I'm not saying don't produce something on your own. Not at all. I want you to do all that. But I want you to take care of home first. I stress that a lot on this channel. So you're not distracted and pulled away from the most important base. Manage what you already have well and protect it. What you've built, right? Once you do that, then you can launch out and do all types of things, right? Be well equipped to launch out and be prepared to make a whole bunch of money to build that business the right way, or launch into that real estate investment the right way, right? But too many people, I talk to people almost every single day about their money. Too many people try to build $1 million business, but they're not properly taking care of the $5,000 income that's coming in their house every month, right? If you can't manage the $3,000 a month that you get, you're going to be a poor manager of the $100,000 a month that you're about to try to get, right? Too many people are out there being bad catchers, right? They're over there hanging out at first base, hanging out at second base, and they're not protecting home. The money they already get, the money they already have, right? It's easy. Listen, it's easy to complain. But it's very hard to look in the mirror and say, you know what? I've been a bad catcher. I haven't been taking care of home. And then go to work on improving yourself, right? Go to work on improving your money, right? Go to work on developing the new behaviors, right? So you can be a new person to get new money, right? When I had a negative $30,000 net loss to my name, by the time I got a seven-figure net worth, I was a totally different person. I had to change I had to morph into becoming something totally different to be able to handle having more money. Right? You got to go to work practicing new habits with money and money management. But people mostly fail because they fail to protect home base. They fail to manage their household of money. All right? It's easy, it's comfortable to blame things like capitalism. It's easy and it's comfortable to blame things like society, right? It's easy and it's comfortable to blame things like inflation, right? Racism, sexism. The cost of everything going up, the president, the city council, the Congress, right? We know all those things play a role. Let's not act like our head is buried in the sand, right? All those things play a role, right? They play their own role. But you can still protect home. You can still make the right decisions. You can still learn new things. You can still take on a new network of people. You can still read that book. You can still start to study on your own. You can still do a budget. You can still manage your money. Okay, no matter what's going on around you, right? You can still get that higher paying skill, right? The Congress ain't got nothing to do with you not going out to get that higher paying skill. You can blame them all you want, but it's not going to fix nothing. The only thing that's going to fix something in your life is you, right? You got to protect your own home base. I dropped the ball many times. I didn't block home plate many times. But you are the catcher in this game called personal finances. So protect home. Protect where they count the runs, right? Direct your money. Manage the game of money like a catcher manages a baseball game. Get runners out at second base who are trying to steal your money. Throw out runners on third when they try to sell you snake oil and pull money from your household, right? By telling you to sign up for this $50,000 coaching that I have, or this $75,000 weekend boot camp so you go out, take loans and stuff. I've seen people do this. I've talked to people that do this. Go out and get a loan so they can attend this $20,000 conference. Those people that do that, those are thieves to a real catcher who's protecting home base. Don't let those thieves steal your money. Don't let distractions, just like on a soccer field, guys, the most important person on the soccer team is who? It's the goalkeeper. Why? Because the goalkeeper is the keeper of the goal. You're the keeper of your goal. Stop letting situations, issues, people, things score goals on you. All right? Stop letting your bad behavior with money score on you. Right? Again, I want you to learn. I want you to gather new information. I want you to take a few risks. I want you to grow and invest, but I want you to make sure that home is taken care of first before you do anything else. Home first. Guys, let's take some Q&A. We always do a little Q&A on Saturdays, so let's talk about, let me get some feedback from you guys. I don't want to beat a dead horse, right? Because I can go on and on about how important it is to be the catcher of your own personal finances, protecting home, right? But let's have some back and forth. Let me just kind of run over here, guys, and see what you guys are talking about in the chat. Very important, guys. Again, you want to share this link with somebody you know. And if you're watching on Facebook, good to have you. Share this link with somebody you know, okay? With somebody who needs to hear this basic, fundamental, foundational conversation about you and baseball and being a catcher, right? Or themselves, whoever they may be, right? Share this video, guys, and smash the like button. We got nearly 100 folks in here. Smash the like button. We should have 150 likes in here, right? Smash it twice if you got to. Don't smash it twice. I think it goes out. But smash it one time, the like button, guys. If you're not a member of this channel, please consider subscribing to this channel. All right, I really would appreciate it. Let's see here, guys. Don't let someone. That's right. And if you don't know about baseball, when you watch baseball next time, understand how important that catcher is. He does everything. He or she, whoever's catching, they do every single thing you can imagine on a baseball field, and they got to do it all well. And they're kind of unsung heroes, right? But hey, you need to be the unsung hero of your own home base when it comes to money. All right. So, guys, put a Q in there for me if you can, guys, if you have a question or if you want to have some back and forth. I'm just sitting here reading some of these chats, guys. Hey, how you doing, Zoltan? Zoltan, good to have you in here. The bottom 10% of people are a little screwed, but everyone else, the remaining 9 to 10, have more control of lives. Yeah, we do. That's a good point. We do have quite a bit of control over our lives and over our finances, despite inflation being crazy, right? Despite that, right? Inflation happens all the time. It just happened to be high in the last 2 years, right? But it was super duper low for a lot of years prior to that. Nobody, there was no issues with it. Good information, too much truth. Yeah, that's kind of what I do, guys. I try to bring some truth to this whole thing, because I'm never going to be out here asking you to spend $20,000 to come to my boot camp. I just won't do it, because I talk to regular people, and regular people don't sit around and have $20,000. And I would never tell you to do something that I wouldn't do. I would never go and borrow money to go attend, or put money on a credit card to go attend somebody's boot camp. And these people are on YouTube. They're on YouTube, and they're just regular folks, and it's $20,000 to go to their conference or get some personal coaching from them for $50,000. And they're getting buku rich. Is it buku or boohoo? They're getting super rich off people who are mortgaging their future to go spend 30 minutes with somebody on don't do it. I'm not saying you don't take my word for it. I'm just telling you I wouldn't do it, so I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to charge you that money, right? I'm talking to regular, ordinary people that maybe have some money and some that don't have some money, right? But that's not cool to me. To me, that's a charlatan, if that's the right word. Donna, good analogy. This is about self-empowerment. That's the whole point. That's what I do. This is all that it's about, is self-empowerment as a root with money, as this person said. It's powerful. When you take control over your money, it's powerful, right? And it's helpless when you let your money push you around. It's you feel helpless, right? But the thing that I like to stress on this channel is empowerment with your money, right? Being able to tell your money what it's going to do, exactly what it's going to do. No questions, right? No old school, no questions. You just do what I tell you you're gonna do, right? That's why, hey, I'm a person, guys. Believe it or not, I'm gonna share this with you. I don't like to have the bills come automatically out of my checking account. I got about 2 of them that do that, come automatically out of the checking account. I like to pay them because I like to be in control of what I'm paying you, right? So if I'm paying you online, I want to pay you. And they always make it very easy, right? Any bill you pay online, they say, click this button and we'll do automatic payment, right? It'll pop up every time you go in there and pay a bill, right? I always say, skip that or hit the X button because I don't want that. I don't want automatic payment. They want automatic access to your account. I don't want them to have automatic access because I want control. Call me a control freak, right? But you should want to be in control of your money, right? It's all about empowering yourself. That's what it's all about. I like to motivate. I like to inspire people to get better with their money. Yep. And somebody said, yes, we love good old excuse and blaming others. It happens, right? And I'm not a person that says, all those isms in the world aren't there. I know they're there. I used to teach social studies / history for years in the 90s, right? I know my history better than most folks know their history. I guarantee you that. And not to mention, I love genealogy. So I'm a big studier of genealogy and family trees and all that stuff, right? The DNA and ancestry and 23andMe. I do all that stuff. Love it. Love history. So I know those things matter and they're super important. But ain't nothing in history stopping you from reading that book. Ain't nothing in history stopping you from protecting home and managing your money well. Nothing in history is stopping you from that, right? Unless you allow it to. And I'm saying you want to be empowered enough not to allow it to cut it off. Protect home. Protect this, right? Somebody said, can I do another debt video? Yeah, I will do another debt video. I did a video about getting out of debt, doing the debt snowball, and kind of walked everybody through it. I did a tutorial, so to speak, sort of a workshop. But yeah, we'll jump into that too. Juan, I appreciate you too, Juan. Thanks so much for being here, Juan. I appreciate those. Anytime you guys throw a kind word, man, I really appreciate that. Kind comment, I really appreciate that. Be sure to smash the like button for me. Don't forget, guys. All right, smash that like button because that tells YouTube, put this stuff out into the world to more people, right? Put it out. More people need to hear money messages like this as opposed to money messages where I'm trying to sell you a conference and a workshop, right? I don't have to sell you anything. The only thing I sell on this channel is membership to this channel, which you can join. And we're going to do our first live tomorrow for members only. And we're going to be looking at my net worth, right? What is my net worth? I'm going to run through how I figure it, some important things about how to figure your net worth and what you should be doing. And I'll share my screen and we'll go over my exact net worth. I just got all my numbers yesterday. Got the last of my numbers, so I know specifically what I have, and I'm going to show it to you guys. I'm going to reveal that. I did another one 2.5 years ago. Nobody's seen that one, right? But my net worth is different now, and I want to share that with the members only. So I do charge a little bit for members only for some of the back-end stuff, right? And I do charge for one-on-one coaching that I do. I do one-on-one coaching because it's my time, right? For 90 minutes or 2 hours, you get me and I have a conversation, and it costs, right? And the link to those things are in the description box below. But other than that, I don't have a big old $2,000 course to sell you, right? I'm not trying to make money off you. I'm trying to help you. And a lot of YouTubers, they're making money off you, and that's okay. I'm not saying anything bad with that about that, but just understand understand what's going on there, right? Make sure you put a Q in the comments, guys, if you have a question. John said, John, I appreciate you, John. You're always here. How do you personally balance your full-time job, side hustles, YouTube, voiceovers, etc., real estate investments, family time? John, my children are grown. I got these grays for a reason, right? Because I've been around a little bit. So my kids are grown and gone. All of them are college educated and they have their own careers and so forth. So I don't have to, I have a wife, but I don't have a lot of extra, I have a lot of extra time. And I don't fill my extra time up with Netflix and things like that, right? I fill it up with presenting information for you guys, or working on my one-on-one coaching with folks, or doing some voiceovers that may be necessary. I still do voiceovers for my church. I do that free because I believe in giving back as well. I don't believe just in take. So I do voiceovers for free for my church, but also my side hustles, my real estate. I just find the time. One of the things I do, John, just so you know, every night before I go to bed every night, I do a little reading, but I also write down exactly what I want to accomplish the next day. And I don't just write them down. I write time next to each one of them. This is how I manage my time. I write a time next to each thing I'm going to do, either how long it's going to take, 1 hour, 2 hours, or the exact time of the day I want to do it. 11 to 12:30, YouTube today. After that, 12:30, I'm going to get some exercise in, go to the gym, right? Then I'm going to eat, right? I never eat until about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I always do like a light fast. I don't eat after 10 o'clock or so and at night, and then I don't eat again until about 2 or 3 the next day. Give my body time to rest. So I'm big on health, okay, taking care of my body as well. The one area I could probably do better at is sleep, okay? But that's how I manage my time, John. Great question. I appreciate that. Somebody says, it's boom, 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 the author priest. Good to have you. Alvira, good to have you in here. Let's see here. Question from Get the Memo. I appreciate you being in here, Get the Memo. With everything going on, is it okay to get an employer 401k match with 100% match? Man, 100% match on a 401k at your employer, fantastic. Whatever you put in, they match 9%, 10%, 15%. Listen, I always get the match. It's free money. You might as well get it, right? I'm a person that says get the free match. Don't pass that up. So good question. Reba, always live on less than you make, whatever the economy. Always below your means. Below your means. The less you need to live on, right? There's going to be a level of joy that comes with that when you don't need a whole bunch of stuff, right? So that's very important. Good point. Be your own banker, said Alan. Let's see. Question: what things should I do differently as I'm approaching a 7-figure net worth? Investment changes, taxation. If you're approaching a 7-figure net worth and you're under, say, 55, 50 years old, you're doing all the right things. Keep doing what you're doing, right? Keep doing what you're doing. Maybe make sure you have some diversification and keep being aggressive. If you're 50 years old, keep being aggressive. If you're 65 years old, maybe you don't want to be so aggressive. But if you're approaching a 7-figure net worth, don't get fancy. You ain't got to get fancy. You put in the proper work over the proper amount of time. Now, if you love individual stocks and you want to go ahead and put some money into some AI and some index funds that are in that sector, feel free. But definitely have your life insurance, definitely have your estate planning, all that stuff. Have all that stuff intact, right? When you get I think if you get worth anything, you need to have those things intact. But really with estate planning, that's where a lot of folks mess up. Donna said, last year, I bought 2 squash, saved the seeds, and grew them this year. Saving money compounds, just like planting a garden. Donna, you hit the nail on the head, right? You hit the nail on the head. You planted 2 seeds. You bought some squash, planted the seeds, and grew more squash. Hey, it's as simple as that, right? That's money in a nutshell, right? It doesn't have to be money. Doesn't have to be complicated. You ain't got to go invest. Listen, you don't have to. If you want to, cool, but you ain't got to do Forex. You ain't got to trade options. You don't have to do Ethereum, right? You really don't have to do all that to build wealth and grow money. People make it more complicated than it really is. Money ain't that complicated, folks. It's really not. I'm here to tell you, right? We complicate money. We use money every day, but we don't take the time to actually understand it. If we just took a little extra time to understand money, you should be if you're in this group right here, you should be reading a book a month on money, right? Nonfiction, book a month on money. Right? To develop your mind frame around money and to begin to think differently around money. Because if you think how you've always thought, then you're going to get what you always got when it comes to money. So you got to open up the coffers, right? Start talking. Now, when I say listening to new people, remember, again, that doesn't mean you're going out and spending $20,000 on a weekend boot camp, right? You got to make sure that if you've done well with money, you listen to people that are following in your own value system. If you haven't done well with money, pay attention to your gut feelings and your common sense when it comes to money. Okay. If something doesn't feel right when it comes to money, it's probably not right. Right. Elliot, as always here. Appreciate you, Elliot. Break out the sham. Got my star on the S&B Walk of Fame. Elliot, I'm glad to have you, man. Appreciate you so much. I'm getting ready to pay cash for a roof replacement. Donnie said. Paying cash for a roof replacement. That's going to be 10 or 15 grand, depending on how big and what type of roof you're going. It's very stressful because it's a huge investment. Don't let it stress you out. Don't let it stress you out. Sometimes you got to make that decision, right? You got to hand over cash, right, to somebody, right? Don't let it stress you out. Do what you got to do. If you plan to be in that place for quite a while, you plan to be where you are, it's a good investment, right? It's a fine investment. If the roof is leaking, it needs new roof, or even if you're trying to sell the property and you're trying to make sure, and your realtor told you, hey, change the roof out. It's going to help you in terms of what it will sell for. It's a good investment, right? But the one thing, sometimes you got to spend some money. Straight up, Donnie. I know a lot of us, that are frugal. We don't like to spend money. Sometimes you got to let some money go. Right? In order to get it back, you got to let it go. Reciprocity. I'm a huge giver, right? When you give, that's fine. Or if you give or you invest, there's some risk always with investments, but you're going to get it back, right? The Millionaire Next Door is a great read. I agree, right? Question. If my employer no longer offers a 401k match, should I continue investing in the 401k and then open a Roth? Now, good question. If your employer doesn't offer a 401, or if they don't offer 401k, let's say if they don't offer a match, okay, it's up to you. It's your choice. If you like where they are investing your 401k funds, then sure, go ahead and continue to invest with them. But also at the same time, still open that Roth. There's nothing wrong with opening that Roth as well at the same time, so you can sort of have some choices that you can make where your money goes as well. So I say do both, right? Stay with the 401k, but if you don't like where they put your 401k money, don't worry about it. Just go open your Roth, right? Yeah, knowledge is power. Fantastic. Zach said 20K for a boot camp, of course, is way too much. Hey, it's out there. You can find people that are selling boot camps or weekend seminars, or hey, come fly with me for hang out with me for a day for $50,000. They do that, and they know that people are going out and getting loans to go do that. To me, that's disingenuous and it's not appropriate. It's not right. There's something not right with me saying go take out a loan to hang out with me for a day for $30,000, for $50,000. That's not cool. So when I see a YouTuber or IG person, when I see that, kind of turns me off from them because I don't think that's cool. And I wouldn't do it, right? I wouldn't want you doing that. I wouldn't do it, so I wouldn't tell you to do it. Carlos says, I need to do better. We all need to do better, Carlos. None of us are the catchers that we really need to be. But the key is, are you working on protecting home plate the way you should? Are you learning? And if you're in this chat right here, you're learning new things, right? You're at least taking a good step, right? I am not like the gurus, a lot of the gurus that you're going to see on YouTube. I don't tell you to go out and earn more money. The first thing, if I did a one-on-one with you and you said I want to work on, and somebody, if you're in this chat and I've had a one-on-one with you, let me know. The first thing I'm going to say, if you say I need more money, I want to increase my income, the first thing we're going to do, we're going to spend some time going over your own personal household, because that's your first business, right? If you can't take care of your home, how do you expect to go hire employees and take care of a business and manage I'll get somebody to manage those books for me. Whatever. Hey, my thing is do this first. Manage home first, and then you can go make all the money in the world you want. So the first thing I'm going to do with you in that one-on-one, we're going to talk about how are you managing your home? What's going on with your personal finances? Do you have an emergency fund? Do you have a budget that you go to on a regular basis, right? What is the cushion of money you have between your income and your expenses every month, right? This is home base. That's home base. Let's not talk. We'll get to side gigs. I got a million side gig ideas, and I've done dozens of side gigs. So we can talk side gigs all day long, right? You can add more income to what you make already all day long. But if you can't manage that income, what good is having more of what you can't manage in the first place? Why would you add more money on top of bad money behaviors? Doesn't make sense. It's not common sense, right? Here you get $3,000 a month and you're struggling. You can't do this, you can't do that, but then you're doing all these other things with your money that you probably should slow down doing, but then you want to go start a business and make more money. I'm going to talk to you about side gigs, but I'm going to talk to you about the basics first, right? So somebody says, me too. I like to pay directly. I still write check. Hey, there's about 3 or 4 bills I pay a month that I write a check to too. So hey, I'm old school when it comes to that too. So knowledge is simple choice of walking away from ignorance, said Alan. Yep. Let's see. We planted green okra. Good. Kimmy said they planted some stuff. Appreciate all you. I appreciate you guys too. Mommy Trader. All right. Go check her channel out. Mommy Trader. Don't forget about Mommy Trader. It's just like it sounds. Mommy Trader. All right. Excellent channel. Go check her out. She's growing. Check out, what's my man JT? Pocket Watching with JT. I like to shout him out too. Go check him out. Fun and Budget with Tanisha. Sometimes she pops in. Fun and Budget with Tanisha. Go check out her channel too, because we all, as YouTubers, we're in this game together, right? We should be helping out each other and shouting out each other as much as possible, guys, because that's what it's all about. Let's see here. Brigida? I picked up 2 side gigs, so I'm grateful for which is going to help me. Fantastic. Increasing your emergency fund. I have a goal to reach by the, I love it, right? That's what you want to do, right? You start being intentional with your money. You start focusing on your money, and your money begins to grow. And we'll talk about that a lot tomorrow when we talk about net worth, right? You start focusing on your net worth, and you're going to see, when we do this live tomorrow, you're going to see my net worth the last 3 or 4 years, right? Because I put it all on one spreadsheet. So you'll see my net worth the last 3 or 4 years, not just this year, right? Let's see here. Love your heart and content. Thank you, John. Appreciate it. Good advice. Writing down projects. Yes. Freedom. Yeah, Alan. Freedom is, kids gone and zero debt, which is where we are right now. Kids gone, no debt, right? So it's a nice place to be, but it took a lot of gray hairs to get there, right? Let's see here. Let's see. My children are grown too. Love being a mom. It was all great. It was all good. Those days are over. We're still parents, right? Mom, dad, etc. But it's a different transition when they are able to take care of themselves, right? Thea asks, how would I develop a feasible plan for early retirement if you're already in your early 40s? Well, Thea, the first thing you got to do is figure out kind of what your retirement number is. What do you want to have saved up or in your investments before you actually retire? And then start working towards that number, right? Start working towards that number. The rule of 25, the 4% withdrawal rule. All right, Google that, because that may be a good idea for you to start looking at. Some realistic investing and saving strategies to achieve the goal. Well, the main thing is the most important part of how much money you'll have at the end of, when you retire is what's your savings rate? How much, or your investing rate? How much of your money are you investing? Are you investing 5%? Are you sacrificing now and investing 20%? If you invest 20%, you're going to reach your goal faster. There's nothing special about that. There's no real strategy about that. The strategy is invest more. That's it. Right? Again, I like to keep things very, very simple. The strategy to have enough money so you can retire early is to invest enough money. The more you invest, the more you'll have. If you say I'm going to put 3% of my salary right now in investments for the next 15 years, you're going to have a whole lot less than if you decide to put 15 or 20%. And I know it's difficult to put 15 or 20%, but it's all about sacrifice, lowering your expenses as much as possible. And I'm not saying don't have fun, right? People think that just because you're frugal means you can't have fun with your money. But having fun with money has nothing to do with how much you spend on that fun, right? Having fun with your money doesn't mean you have to go to the restaurant where every entree is $200. Having fun with your money could be going to get some ice cream from Dairy Queen for $3, right? People try to equate fun with money, having fun with a lot of money. You don't have to you need to get to the point within you that says, I don't have to spend a lot of money to have a lot of fun, right? If you get to that point where you say, I don't have to spend a lot of money to have a lot of fun, you're going to be able to save more money. Because you're not looking at fun as a $500 or $2,000 trip. You're not looking at fun as sitting on the beach in Dubai for $3,000, $4,000. You're looking at fun as packing in the car and going to the zoo, 8 hours away and just having fun that way. It's it's all right here. It's all right here in terms of your money and your savings rate, right? So that's what I would say, Thea. The realistic strategy is the more you save or more you invest, the more money you'll have. That's simple. Okay. And then write that plan out, whatever that plan may be. Have a vision, have goals, have action steps, things you do every single day, every single week to reach those goals that's going to help you reach that vision. Right. And somebody said, Thea, work on debt, being debt free and save. Yep. Now, don't just save. All right. Don't save, invest. Right. Difference between saving and investing. You want to save for an emergency fund, but you want to invest for your future. Right. Two different things. So let's see. I'm in the same roof situation as Donnie. Yeah. Go ahead and get that roof done. Nothing wrong with having your roof and foundation is the two most important parts of a piece of property. Let's see. Our son refers to you as mommy's guy. So he's not a subscriber, but hey, tell him to go ahead and subscribe to this channel, right? Somebody said disingenuous. I think that person is talking about when I talked about those gurus. The boot camp thing is like buying precious metals with a credit card while still being in debt. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. But you'll have these people who I could call names, but I'm not going to call them out because I like to keep things positive. Okay, I could call names of people that charge $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 for boot camps or for weekend getaways or for seminars or for come hang out with me and ride on my private jet. I'm not into that type of stuff. All right. I don't have a private jet. I would. So yeah, guys. Yeah, absolutely. Somebody said, well, I can collaborate. Yeah, absolutely. I'll collaborate with you and Jack on an iced coffee hour. Absolutely. Would love to. Hey, hello from St. Louis, Punisher 66. Glad to have you. Fantastic. All right. Celebrating you being here, right? And if you're just getting here, push that rewind button so you can hear the whole deal, guys. On this video, I made an analogy about being a catcher. I love baseball, and I love what a catcher does, protecting home base, protecting their home plate. And that's what I want you guys to do as consumers and as people that are trying to better their personal financial situation. Be that catcher. Protect home base. Stop letting people score on you. And when I say score on you, I mean get over on you in terms to take your focus off your money and distract you so they score runs on you. And we all been scored on. I get it. But are you down 15-0? Or are you down 3-0? Thankfully, I got down in my life about 6-0 when I changed it all around. And I stopped letting people score on me. Negative $30,000 net worth to a 7-figure net worth. Did it take time? You betcha. It took time. It took a process, right? I wasn't even the person at 30 years old. I wasn't even the person that could probably handle 7-figure net worth. So it took some time. It's a process. They don't call it building wealth without, they call it building wealth for a reason because you got to build it, right? You got to build it. It takes time. Somebody said, take out a loan to hang. Yes, people do take out loans to hang out with famous people, believe it or not. I saw somebody about 6 months ago, some local not local, but some big time celebrity was having people pay $300 for a picture with them, right? $300 just to take a picture with somebody who was famous. I think, I don't remember exactly who it was, but it was a singer, a concert that was happening. Too much, man, too much. I would never do that, guys. So Kimmy said, my consumer debts we paid off by the end of 2024. Congratulations, Kimmy. Fantastic. Congratulations to you. So happy for you. That's a big, big step, paying off all your consumer debts. Fantastic. So very proud of you, and I hope you continue on your success. Now that you pay off debt, now you can put a lot of money towards investing. Let's see. Mommy Trader said, just listening while balancing our budget. I know that's right. That's fantastic. Congratulations. Congrats, Kimmy. Thanks. Okay. Appreciate it, Juan. Hey, I appreciate you being here. Let's see. Put a Q, guys. I'm getting there. Do you just write checks and mail them in, or do you also sit down and pay the bill or directly online? So I do several things, guys. So, I have a lot of my bills. I say, half of them or so. I go online and I pay them, and I make sure every time I pay them, I say, don't save this information, right? So, but I pay those, and then about 3 or 4 of them actually write checks out and mail them in. And then there's at least a couple of them, I think, that get automatically come out. And that's okay. Cell phone, I think, automatically comes out. So, but I like to have a little bit of control over my money, guys. That's really, really important. I pay my bills twice a month. I don't care if it's due on the 12th. I pay it on the 15th or 16th. I pay my bills twice a month, right? And I've called every bill and said, listen, I can't pay. Can you change my bill date? Some of them could, some of them couldn't. If they couldn't, they get the bill when I pay it. I pay it twice a month, 1st and 15th, period. Right? If the bill's due on the 6th, I pay it on the 1st. If it's due on the 13th, I pay it on the 15th. If it's due on the 17th, I pay it on the, right? I pay it when I want to pay it because it's my bill and I'm going to pay it. I pay all my bills. I got good credit. Don't worry about that. Somebody said, I'm good with making money, but I just can't get where I want to be with it. You can get there. It just takes time, Carlos. Take some time and take some focus. Get the memo. Thanks to your advice, I'm paying off 3 credit cards, keeping 1 and 2 loans to stow home base. Yes. Fantastic. Congratulations. And it'll free up money if something steals your home base on you, like a debt, and you end up turning around and paying that debt off, it adds money to what you can spend, your disposable income every single month. Fantastic. CJ said, I'm currently reading The Mindful Millionaire. It's a deep dive into our poor relationships with money. It's called The Mindful Millionaire. Fantastic. Thanks for that book suggestion, The Mindful Millionaire. Not sure I've seen that one, but thanks a lot for adding that to the chat. Very important. Because, as I said, what we take in is what's going to go out. A lot of us, we haven't taken anything else about money except what we learned about money as a child. That's all we got input in our system because we don't read about money. We don't learn about money. Not everybody, but some people that don't read about, don't learn about. It's whatever they thought about money as a child is how they behave with money now, right? Where you are with money right now is a sum total of your belief about money. I mean, that I hate to say it, but it is. But that's why, and thankfully, a lot of you are on this live feed and on this channel trying to get new information about money. Because you want to get that new information that's going to cause new behaviors and give you new outcomes, right? Somebody said, question, what are your thoughts on retiring to a country that has a lower cost of living to stretch your retirement? I say go for it. Go for it. Mexico, Philippines, get your citizenship if you can, depending on what that country offers, and go for it. If you have no ties to America, why not? If you so desire, right? If you've done a good job with your money and you have some money, go do as you please, right? If you want to go to the Philippines, I've heard good things about the Philippines, Mexico, parts of West Africa, parts of West Europe, Portugal, Spain. I've heard good things about parts of Brazil, etc. Go for it, right? I say go for it. I have a poor relationship with money, and that's the reason I need to look and act poor. All right? Having fun. I did a video called Why Looking Poor is Important, right? So having fun is packing up the family and driving down to the beach town and camping on a free beach. Hey, that's what I'm talking about, Kimmy. Spend $200, $300 on your vacation as opposed to $5,000 on your vacation. So let's see. And I might miss some of these guys. Bear with me. Things get fixed financially from inside. Thanks. Uganda in the house. East Africa. Glad to have you, Hadija. Right. Let's see. Definitely canceling auto pay. It's okay to invest and borrow against your 401k when you need a purchase such as a furnace. No, it's not okay. In my opinion, I like to give it to you guys flat out, by the way. I don't like to beat around the bush. No, I would not mess with my 401k. I would not mess with my 401k to get a new furnace. This is, and if you can, use your emergency money. And this is why it's so important. This is one of the things I stress on this channel. Have some money just in case of emergencies. Guys, emergencies do happen. Okay. They will happen. Having 10K, 15K, whatever set aside for those emergencies is very important. I would not touch my 401k unless it's absolutely my last resort and I'm freezing in the house otherwise I would save up money or maybe go a different route. See what I can sell, right? Whatever I can do to get the money for the furnace. Okay. You do what you got to do, right? I'm just telling you what I would do. This is why before you have an emergency, build an emergency fund. Before you have an emergency, have money, right? See, mom, and like I said, guys, I might be missing some of these. Mom passed away. My siblings and I inherited her house. Should my emergency funds be used for repairs or should I save for a separate budget? That's a lot, Rhonda. Rhonda, what I would do, I would love to have a one-on-one with you, Rhonda, where I answer that question for you because there's a lot involved there. I can't really say there's a lot involved. What's the relationship with your siblings in the home? What is the home costing you? Otherwise, outside of some of these repairs, how necessary are these repairs to the home? Are you going to take over the home and have it and use it and then rent it out? Are you going to buy out your other family members? There's so much involved in that question, Rhonda. That's one that I would probably have to answer on a one-on-one session. Someone asked earlier, and I think I missed it, about the rule of 72. And the rule of 72 is just the number of years it takes to double your money at a specified or specific rate of return, right? So that's all the rule of 72 is, guys. It's just at how long will it take to actually double your money, right? Let's see here, and without going into super specifics, I think I saw that. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I'm reading that wrong. Maybe I didn't see that. Someone said Canada and the Philippines, very nice. Yeah, Canada's going through some issues right now with their economy right now. I think before you move there, make sure you understand everything that a country is about and has to offer. Catcher Daryl Porter, he played for the Royals and played for the St. Louis Cardinals. Played for both of them. Absolutely, yeah. Check that out, guys, because I want. The whole key here, the name of this video is don't let distractions steal your money, right? Take care of home at all costs, right? Because just like a catcher, you want to make sure you're taking care of your home base. And I think a catcher is the most important position defensively on a field. By the way, this is really a part one, because next Saturday at 11 a.m., we're going to jump on here and we're going to do part two. See, part one was talking about defense, right? Defense. You're on defense, right? When you're a catcher, you're on defense. You're protecting the bases. First base, protect first base. Third base, protect third base. Outfield protects, grabs the ball and protects whatever they got to protect, right? Pitcher is trying to get out the batter, and the catcher is watching everything, protecting home base. That's defense. But next week, I want to come on here and have a conversation with you guys about offense. What you got to do on offense. Right? We know you want to protect home base on defense, but how do you turn around on offense and start being offensive minded when it comes to what you should be doing right now with your money? It's not just about playing defense and making sure somebody don't steal from you or steal home on you. Now, how do you turn that around and make sure you get some hits and get some runners on base and get yourself some runs, right? And we're going to be talking about that next week, because I want you on this channel, guys. I don't just like talking about problems. I like to also talk about solutions. I want to talk about how you can get better, what types of things you should be doing, how you can better manage your money, how you can set yourself up in 15 years to be successful in 10 years. And I'm not saying a year, right? Because it takes time. I'm not going to listen. If you're looking for that guru that's going to tell you how to make $10,000 next week, I may not be your guy. I can help you a little bit in some side gigs and side hustles, right? Because I make good money, right? But I'm the channel that's going to tell you, how do you build it to be sustainable? How do you build it to pass on to the next generation? How do you build it so that your grandkids can benefit, right? You may be 50 years old. You may not be here in 40, 50 years, but your 2-year-old grandkid is going to be here. How can they benefit from what you do today? How can they benefit from the decisions you make right now? Something as small as, let me just go into this. Something as small, if you guys don't mind, something as small as getting your Social Security check at age 62, as opposed to waiting till you're 67, right? None of us know when we're going to pass away, right? If none of us know when we're going to pass away, why not get your Social Security money immediately? And if you don't need it, go ahead and put it in the fund so it grows. Go ahead. There's nothing that says you can't take your Social Security check at age 62. You don't need it because you're working, making good money. But take that money and go put it in an account, because you might pass away at age 65. And if you pass away at age 65, that money's gone. But guess what? If you put it into an account from age 60, let's say you pass away at age 66. If you put it into an account from age 62 to 66, you take it from Social Security and put it away and let it grow. And then in your estate plan, you say that your grandkids need to split that money in 40 years after growth. That little, let's say you got $2,000 a month. $2,000 a month for 12 months is $24,000 a year. $24,000 a year is how much in 4 years, guys? What, $96,000? That $96,000 that you went ahead and took out from Social Security at age 62, that $96,000 over the next 30, 40 years is going to turn into $800,000. And in 30, 40 years, it might turn into 1.5 million in 40 years. Who knows? But guess what? In 40 years, that 1.5 million can be split between your three grandkids. Now they have money to go. I know 1.5 million in 40 years is going to be like, 500,000 a day. But who amongst us wouldn't want to have an extra 500,000 a day that my grandfather left me because he decided to get his Social Security at 62 instead of waiting to 67? Right? Something as simple as that, right, is something that can build generational wealth or can help generations down the road. So these are things that you need to know to be on the offense as opposed to just protecting home base, right? That a lot of people just don't share with you in plain language when you go to YouTube or when you go to IG or when you go to Twitter, right? Or when you go to TikTok, wherever you go to get your information, right? Simple things. Now, some of you might be saying, well, I'm 70 years old and I didn't want to take my money till I was 70 because I didn't want to take the penalty. Don't worry about the penalty, right? You took that money and you went to go make more money. Because the purpose of money, one of the main purposes of money, not the only, but one of the main purposes of money is to make more money, right? To make more money. Money makes money for you. Money's depreciating, going down in value. You go invest it, now it's going up in value. Invest it in things going up in value, right? So you go ahead and get that money, that Social Security money at age 62. Immediately. It's your money. You work 40, 45 years to get it. Get it. Because if you don't get it and you die in 2 years, it's gone, right? But that money that you get at 62 can be used to help out your great grandkids, right? Whether they're going to be living here or whether they're going to be living in Australia, doesn't matter. So I just want to share that with you guys. Sometimes I get on a tangent, but that's something to do, something to think about. That's basics, right? And we need to talk about those things next week, 11 a.m. Saturday, right? Thoughts on buying a house hack property at 7.630? Give me a little more detail. 7.6 right now, right? Your rates are higher right now, guys. Rates are higher. Obviously, 30 years are higher. But let me tell you something. Investment property, here's my opinion. Investment property, never a bad time to buy a house. Buy a piece of property. Never a bad time to buy. Time could be a bad property. Could be bad numbers on the property, but it's never a bad time to buy. If you're buying investment property, it's tough to time the market sometimes. Right? As well, if you're buying your primary residence, I wouldn't time the market. I would buy when I'm ready. If I'm buying an investment property, I would kind of check out landscapes, see what's going on, see what the numbers say on the property. So I'm not sure how you wrote that, Graham, and I'm not sure exactly. Maybe you can offer a few more details and we can give you a much better answer. Thanks for the advice. I do have thanks. That's good. Large emergency fund is awesome. Thanks for the super sticker, Ivy Bashan. Thanks for the super sticker. I certainly appreciate it. Fantastic. Rhonda said we want to keep the house, and Rhonda's going back to her earlier question. We want to keep the house, and it only needs cosmetic work. So ask that full question again, Rhonda, and I'll put a Q by it for me. I've recently moved the IRA fund to a different brokerage, and now half is cash, half is ETFs. ETFs are cool. Should I invest all now or do dollar cost averaging with the fund? Dollar cost averaging is always good. If you have a big chunk right now and you want to put it in, that's cool too. And once you put that chunk in, just continue to dollar cost average. Do both, right? No either or, do both. Take that chunk, put it where you want it to go, and continue to do your dollar cost averaging as well with the money that you are going to be making coming up. Thanks for endorsing Philippines. Left fielder also important. Yeah, left fielder is super important. Left fielder is important because most batters are right-handed, and the left fielder is going to get more action than the right fielder typically. At what point is enough wealth? Is there such a thing? I don't know if there's such a thing as enough wealth, but I can say this. Make sure that all the while that you're building your wealth, that you're giving and helping other people. Don't stop giving. Don't stop helping. It's a principle. It's a principle, right? It's a godly principle. Don't stop helping. Don't stop giving all the while you're building your wealth. That's one of the things that propelled me in the last 20 years is to actually be giving money, and not being stingy with money, being stingy with my time, right? I want to help as many people as possible. On this channel, I want to help hundreds of millions of people on this channel. That's my goal, right? The more people I can help, the better. And so such thing as enough wealth, depends on how you look at wealth, honestly. Just make sure you're giving the whole time and you're helping other people as well, and you'll be blessed. All right, Mommy Trader said, how do you resist temptation while building wealth? Yes, I was proud of myself for not buying anything on Prime Day. Hey, congratulations to you. It's all about discipline, self-discipline. It's really all about self, especially when you're at the point like I think Mommy Trader is and some folks in the chat are, where they can afford and buy whatever they want to buy, right? They can afford it, right? It's tough to resist the temptation, and I totally get it. But it's really about discipline, and maybe you need to start using the 30-day rule that says, if I want to have an impulse buy, let me wait 30 days before I have that large impulse buy. Maybe that's a way to go. But for me, it's about what makes me have joy, right? Not happy, but have joy, right? Good, solid joy. I'm a very frugal person. I don't buy a lot. I don't need a lot. So I've just kind of grew up like that, right? Didn't have a whole lot growing up, so I really don't need a whole lot right now. But continue just to be as disciplined as possible. And then, of course, if you have a partner or somebody that's helping you hold your feet to the fire, that's always a good plan too. Have some family meetings and with the other your spouse or your family, and start talking about things and putting things out in the open. Because I find that if I have somebody else holding me accountable, it helps me be disciplined, right? Most folks are like that, right? Even when you go to the gym to work out, if you have a trainer and it holds you accountable, sometimes you work out a little harder, right? Somebody pushing you, right? If you're in a race, a foot race, you're racing somebody on the track, and that person's running real hard and pushing you, you're probably going to run a little faster. Same concept with our money, guys. Having somebody to hold you accountable is always good in terms of helping you with discipline. So great question, Mommy Trader. I'm excited to join next week, part 2. Yes, part 2 is going to be on offense. Absolutely. If you work under full retirement age, check before you do this. Social Security would take your money away from you. Absolutely. Donna has made a very important point that I probably missed, but don't charge it to my heart, guys, because I didn't mean to miss it. If you continue to work while you get Social Security and you're not your full retirement age is anywhere from 65, 66 to 67 right now, depending on when you were born, right? If you're born after 1969, I think your full retirement age is 67. If you work in between there and you make a whole bunch of money, right? They're going to adjust how much you're going to receive. So you got to always check with your local Social Security office before you take your money at 62. Right? Before you do that, check with your local Social Security office. Now, full disclosure, I worked for Social Security for 6 years, 2002 to 2008. So I fully understand that what Donna said in this comment section is extremely right. Make sure you're checking with your local Social Security office before you take your money to see what they're going to withhold based on how much you're going to actually be making, right? Very important. Great point. Let's see. Great info. Thank you on Facebook. Appreciate you. And if you're still hanging in with me on Facebook, glad to have you guys. Appreciate you being here. Daryl Porter was good. Yeah. Daryl Porter wore glasses, right? He's a catcher. Let's see here. Love that. Okay. Just like baseball, this video is hitting the financial game out to park. Elliot Finesse. He has some great comments. I appreciate that, Elliot. But that's what it's all about, protecting home plate. That's what it's all about. You should be the catcher of your money, of your own household. Let's see. After you work full retirement age, yes, Donna. After you reach full retirement age, you can work as much as you want and get all of your money. So very good point. Let's see. Another great book suggestion. Robert said, Your Money or Your Life. Yeah, have that book and read that book. Excellent book. Let's see. Zach said, why do index funds differ from different brokerages, have slightly different returns where they're supposed to track the same index? You got fees. Fees will make a difference on that, Zach, depending on which brokerage account. If you get the total S&P index fund from Fidelity, it might have slightly different return than the total S&P fund from Vanguard, because you have certain fees and things that are different at different companies. So great question. My oldest brother owns 3 houses, and we have to do the legalities to keep it. My younger and I are living in the home. We are single. There's a new roof on the house also. So you got to continue with that question, Rhonda. The question was, should we repair the house? If you plan to keep it, then of course you want to repair it, obviously. And then Mommy Trader said, thanks, I really didn't need anything on Prime Day. I guess Prime Day is Amazon Prime Day or something like that. I don't do Amazon. I think I've ordered 2 or 3 things off Amazon all my life. So again, I'm super frugal, right? I sold over $100,000 on eBay, and I think I bought one thing I purchased one thing off eBay that whole time. So again, I'm pretty frugal. I'm a frugal person. I got a video coming up about that, about why I'm so frugal. It's tough to know you should be saving It's tough to know you should be saving 1,400 a monthly according to the budget, but you're still living check to check. Listen, that's what I do in my one-on-one sessions. We share screens, we write out your budget, we look at your budget, and we see places where your budget has gaps and problems and holes, and we go through your budget line by line item by line item. And a lot of times when we do that, you know what we find out? We typically end up seeing that there's some things that you're doing in your budget that you could change. Things that you're doing with your money that you could change, right? If you have a cushion of $1,400, what are you doing to make that cushion go away? There's probably some personal things you know. That's why I say most people don't have a money problem here in America. I say most, some do. But most people really don't have a money problem. Most people just simply have a management problem. They have an issue with managing and being a steward over their money. And that's what this channel is really all about. Helping people manage their money better, get better at their money, have more money, and be extraordinary with their money. So most people really have to control themselves, right? Most people have to discipline themselves with money. And that's a tough thing to do because it requires you looking in the mirror, and it requires you addressing the big old elephant in the room, and point blank, typically it's you. Now, I'm not calling you an elephant, but I'm calling you the person in the mirror, right? All right. What happens if the brokerage you got your index from goes out of business? Well, that's why you want to make sure you're at a reputable brokerage account, right? I don't do anything with the apps online, right? What do they call them? Name some apps online, guys. The apps you get. There's a lot of apps. I don't use those apps. I use real brokerage houses like Fidelity and like Vanguard. So hopefully they don't go out of business. Somebody said 90% of my wealth is in real estate with only 15K in the market because I don't trust it. Is there anything wrong with this since I know and trust real estate? No. If you feel comfortable with most of your wealth being in real estate, that's fine. But you know, that's about you. Personal finance is personal. I know people that have no money in the stock market. They got all their money in real estate. They're comfortable that way. That's what they've grown up doing. They got 20 different houses, all of them paid for, and they don't worry about being invested in the stock market. And that's cool too, because shelter is always a good investment. It's up to you. It's what you're comfortable with. If you have 90% of your investment in the stock market and only got 10% of your money in real estate, that's cool too. Me personally, I'm almost 50-50 because I like both. And I think I'm not afraid of either one of them, right? So it depends on what you feel comfortable with. And this is the key, guys. A lot of what you hear, not everything, there are some absolutes, but a lot of what you hear about personal finances is relative to you and your situation and your risk tolerance level, right? What can you stand to risk? What can you stand to lose? What is your personal financial situation? What are your personal goals? Where do you want to be? All of this stuff is personal to you. Now, there are some absolutes, right? Buy appreciating assets, get rid of your debt, right? Those are some things that you should do. A debt on consumer products that are going down in value. Those are absolutes, right? Have an emergency fund, right? Those are the things that I talk about because they're absolutes. But some of these things depends on you as a person, right? And so that's why it's hard to give some overall answers. A lot of it depends on where you are. Let's see. If you're not an Amazon Prime, you're missing out. No, I'm not an Amazon Prime. When I go to the store, they always ask me, "Are you an Amazon Prime member?" And I say, "No, I'm not an Amazon Prime member, but I'm important. I'm special still, right?" And they usually say, "Yeah, you're important and you're special." Social Security. I just had to use my whole emergency fund before hitting my emergency fund goal. Now, do I just keep stacking up money? Yep, that's exactly what you do. Keep stacking up money to build a new emergency fund. When you have to use your emergency fund, you got to stack to get a new emergency fund. Absolutely. Right. Question. Should I use an emergency fund for repairs or budget for repair? Okay. So going back to Rhonda, Rhonda's asked this question 3 or 4 times and I keep missing it because we're piecing it together. She said, I think earlier that her family had some home they live in the home that they own and she has an emergency fund. The answer to that question, Rhonda, is no, don't use your own personal emergency fund. If you live in a home, I always suggest people have, especially in your situation. Let me preface this. In your situation, because you live in the home, I'm assuming that you live in the home and that you own the home. Well, in that case, since you live in the home and own the home and you have emergency money, I would not necessarily use it for routine repairs. Okay, let's say it like that. I wouldn't use it for routine repairs. Okay, but if all of a sudden the furnace goes out and winter is coming and you live in Michigan and you have an emergency fund and you live in the home, then yeah, you want to use it because it's an emergency. You get the furnace done, right? If that makes any sense, right? But if you just want to, you want to you want to do some landscaping outside, and it's going to cost you $10,000, and you just want to make stuff look a little prettier, that's not an emergency. I wouldn't use it for that. So you have to define what an emergency is for you, right? Define what that emergency is. So no, I would not use it just for routine stuff. But if it's an actual emergency, the roof caved in and you're leaking water because it's raining and all that good stuff, you got to get that done quickly, and you have emergency money, that's an emergency. Use it for the emergency, right? That's kind of where I would go. Yeah, Robinhood, I really don't use those apps too much. I'm not against them. I just prefer to do my investing at a more established long-term place. But if you use, and I think Mommy Trader uses M1, I think, from one of your videos, because I do watch your videos. So I think she M1, if you're comfortable with it and you feel that it's an established, like, it could be Webull. Some folks that use Webull, then use it. If you feel comfortable with Robinhood, Stash, whatever it may be, then use it, right? But for me, I like using the ones that have been around for 30, 40, 50 years. So it just depends on what you choose, right? Being frugal is a lifestyle. Self-discipline, self-analytics, you absolutely are right. So guys, what we're doing here, we're trying to answer some questions from a standpoint of finances in a commonsensical way, right? That's what I do on this channel, real commonsensical. Be sure you smash that like button for me, though. You got to hit the like button. Very, very important, guys. We want the answer. We want this type of video to go viral, as opposed to, sitting up here talking about somebody that's selling you something to go viral, right? We want this type of video, more people to see it. And the way we do that is we share the video. That's the way that you can support this channel the most, is smashing the like button and sharing the video with your network of friends or family or Facebook group or wherever you want to put it. So those things are super important. What do I think of Charles Schwab? Charles Schwab is cool. Been around for a long time. I have most of my investments in another company, but I was approached to open a brokerage account at Charles Schwab. I think Charles Schwab is cool. Nothing wrong with Charles Schwab. Been around a long time, very established. Lots of folks do their investing at Charles Schwab. I'm a Vanguard guy, okay? Point blank, I'm a Vanguard guy. Most of my stuff, not all, but most is in Vanguard. That's where I do a lot of business. So, because I really like Jack Bogle, who started Vanguard back in the early 70s. I like what he was talking about in terms of indexing versus individual stocks, right? I have a little bit of individual stocks, but a lot of mine is in index funds, lower fees than mutual funds, right? So that's why I'm a Vanguard fan, because I read several of his books and so forth. Let's see here. Some more question. Just started a budget. I should have done a decade ago. Nothing wrong with that solo cruising acts. Hey, everybody's got to start somewhere, right? What kind of preparation should I do before doing a budget? Before one-on-one counseling with me? Well, the thing that I ask anybody to do before we have a one-on-one is I ask people to figure out what they want, right? The absolute hardest question for most people is exactly what do I want? See, sounds like, this is what I'm saying, guys. Money is not very complicated, right? Money is really not very complicated. What the very first thing you should be thinking about is, what do I want to achieve with my money? If you can come to the table, a one-on-one session with me, with knowing exactly what you want to achieve, not just, I want to have more money. I may want to retire. No, what do you want specifically? That's the main thing I would ask you to prepare for before we have a one-on-one. Exactly what do you want? Right? Not, I just want to have more money when I retire. No, in 10 years, I want to have a $35,000 emergency fund, and I'm going to have $750,000 located in my investments, and I want to have an annual. So you're giving me a time, you're giving me an amount that's specific. So that's the one thing I would ask you to have and know before we have a one-on-one session, right? Yes, Thomas said, please smash the like button. Hucklebuck, my man, hey, how you doing? Good to have you in here again. Which high yield savings account institution do I prefer? I don't really have a HYSA right now. I don't put my money towards a high yield right now. There's a ton of them out there though. And high yield savings accounts are a good place to park your emergency money. I just am getting a pretty good yield from where mine is, so I haven't moved it, right? So if you guys have some suggestions for HYSAs or high yield savings accounts, please drop them there in the chat for Hucklebuck, right? Suggestions for a good high yield savings account that you're comfortable with where you have your money. And they're all out there. Let's see. Mommy Trader said, yes, I use M1. Yes, I thought so. Fidelity, etc. Awesome. And Mommy Trader said Fidelity is my favorite. Check out her channel, by the way, Mommy Trader here on YouTube. All right. She says she uses Fidelity and she also uses M1. Fantastic. Excellent. All right. I'm with you, Smart Money Bro, on sticking with the old well-known brokerages places. Yeah, that's just my opinion, right? But you can, there's a lot of good reputable places out there. What do I think of having many brokerage accounts? I don't think there's anything wrong with having money at Fidelity, Vanguard, and Charles Schwab. If you have them there for different reasons, right? Maybe you have your children's funds put over on Fidelity. Maybe you have your growth that you want to do over on Vanguard. But maybe over at Charles Schwab, you have some individual stocks that you want to invest in, and you want to kind of keep them separate. Totally up to you, right? Again, that's something that's 6 1/2 dozen or another, whatever that saying is, guys. It doesn't really matter. Totally up to you. If you feel more comfortable having everything in one spot, have everything in one spot too. That's okay, right? It just depends on what's comfortable for you. Somebody said Vanguard's good, been there 20 years. Yeah, Vanguard got started. The idea of index funds was around before Vanguard, but the Vanguard founder, Jack Bogle, he decided to go ahead and make a whole company around the idea of index funds, and that's what Vanguard grew out of in the early 70s, mid 70s, right? Yeah, Jack just passed away here recently. Let's see here. I use Ally, A-L-L-I, A-L-Y, Ally, or Ally. Okay, and Capital One are fantastic. So Mommy Trader put in Capital One and Ally for high yield savings account. Thanks for adding that. I appreciate that. Yeah, appreciate the support, Jonesing Finance. All right, appreciate the support more than you know. Smash that like button, subscribe if you're not a subscriber. And also, in the description box below, we've got your free ebook, The 24 Laws of Money. The 24 Laws of Money, your free ebook, just for being a part of this live stream today, guys, and watching my videos. I could have sold that ebook for $10 or $5, but I said, no, I just want to give it away. Now, also, when you get that free ebook, The 24 Laws of Money, when you get that free ebook, it's going to ask you to put in your email address, right? And the reason now that ebook is 39 pages long, so that's not a short ebook, right? There's a lot in there, including the 24 Laws of Money that helped me get to where I am today, right? Shape my mind, my philosophy. But also, we ask that because once a week, we go ahead and send out an email. We don't do spam. The email comes from me. I don't have a team of 25 people putting this stuff together. It's me that sends out an email, and I don't do spam, right? You can unsubscribe at any time. And I've been doing it for years, so my email list has grown, but I do that to keep folks informed. Either it's an update on a blog post or an update on a video or an update with just information, right? Or sometimes I may say thank you in the email, but at least once a week I'll send out an email. It could be once every 2 weeks, right? Sometimes I get a little slower on that, but that's all that's for. So don't worry about that. You're still getting the ebook that has those principles of money that help me out tremendously along my journey. And my journey is very interesting. I've got a lot to share. Maybe 2 weeks from now I can share my journey in terms of money. It's been a rough one. Let's see. In Midwest and Michigan, Huntington Bank is offering close to 5%. Huntington Bank is another one I've heard of. Absolutely. Thanks for adding that, Exenio guy. Citi or CIT. Okay. Also, these are big. Yep, exactly. Old National Bank is paying 5%. So there's quite a few out there, guys. I appreciate you guys putting that in the chat for Hucklebuck, right? There's plenty of high yield savings accounts out there. And I like to say in a high yield savings account, guys, make sure you just park that money. That's where your emergency money is parked, right? Right. And if you feel like 5% is where you're safe and you feel good in terms of increasing, your investments there, that's cool too. But when it comes to high yield savings account, I suggest right there. Now, when it comes to growing your money, I suggest that's where you actually invest in individual stocks, ETFs, your index funds, your mutual funds, right? But if you have individual stocks, let me throw this out there, full disclaimer. If you have individual stocks, don't just have one or two, right? Have a bunch of individual stocks, 15, 20, 10 blue chippers, right? 15, 20, 25, 30, 50, 100 individual stocks, right? The more you have, the more it spreads your risk around, right? So you want to make sure that you're spreading your risk around as well. So let's see here. Old National, good. Got the ebook. Thanks so much. Newsletter is useful. Thank you, Jonesing. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's just a weekly update. Every couple of weeks or once a week, it's an update. Nothing special. I typically don't say, "Hey, buy this" in my newsletter that goes out. When should we do a will or trust? Well, you want to do a will up front, right? I don't care if you have, if you figure your net worth and you got a $20,000 net worth, and you need to do a will, right? A will, and then of course a trust. As you have more and more money, more and more assets, you want to do a trust, right? If you have $50,000 in assets, I suggest you do a trust. Or $50,000 in net worth, I suggest you do a trust, right? And of course, you also want to have life insurance as well, right? So I always hit those things as well. Those things are really important. When I do one-on-ones with folks, we always hit those because those are the basics: a will, a trust, and life insurance. Make sure you have all of them, right? We want to have 10, even if it's a 15,000 or 20,000 life insurance, so that if there's a burial, we don't have to do a GoFundMe, right? We can actually have the money to bury you. So those are important: wills, trust, and life insurance. When should you do those? All of us on this chat should probably do a will. All of us on the chat should do a will. When you get to $50,000 and up in terms of your net worth, you probably want to invest a couple $1,000s in doing a trust, right? Go get a good attorney. Go ahead and spend the $1,500, $2,000, and get a trust, right? Very important. Good money spent. Trust me. No pun intended there, right? Trust me. Get it? Bad joke. All right. I use my emergency fund to buy commercial washer and dryer set, $27 for a pair, but projected 25-year lifespan, comes with 7-year part. If you needed a washer and dryer and you use $2,700, there's nothing wrong with it, right? Go for it, right? Your emergency fund is for emergencies, right? So that's okay. Just replenish that money, right? Thank you so much, Lou Delu. I appreciate it. Keep up the good work. I'm trying. Not a Morgan Stanley fan, somebody said. Well, that's cool. Let's see here. Still looking here. I might have skipped a few of these. So, okay, trust protects generational wealth. Absolutely. So, guys, this video today, I've been on a long time. I just wanted to come on here and give you my take on why you don't want to let distractions steal your money. You want to be the back catcher. That's what we used to call it. But it's a catcher. You want to be the catcher. Protect home base. Protect home first with your money. Very, 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 very important, right? And the way you do that, protect home base, is life insurance, the will, the trust, the emergency fund, taking care of all of the basics first, right? To build that strong foundation. That's how you protect home on defense. Next week, we're going to go into how to actually get on offense, what you should be doing when you come up to the plate, right? And how to hit those singles and those doubles and those home runs if you're a baseball fan, right? So very important, guys. So I just wanted to kind of come on here. I'm going to cut it off right there. If you have a question, though, put it in the comments section on YouTube, and I'll go in. I usually answer those comments, guys, because I enjoy reading you guys' thoughts and what you have to, what you think and believe and so forth, and your comments on this. But share this video. Smash the like button. Thumbs up, share this video, and with your family, your friends, your network of good people, good family, etc. And be here next Sunday at 11 a.m. so we can get into the offensive side of this thing, right? And then also, if you're going to join our channel, tomorrow we're going to do a live, and I'm going to go behind the scenes of my net worth. What is my net worth? How should you be figuring your net worth? Right, with the members only. And we're starting to grow our membership. We're up to 10 folks in the members only right now. And I think we're up to 10, might be more. But if you want to join, it doesn't take much, right? I think you can join as little as $4.99, $6.99, $3.99 per month, right? But you're going to get some behind the scenes stuff. And we're going to kick that off tomorrow with a video. And we're going to talk about net worth, how to figure it. And I'm going to show you not just an example. I'm going to open up the doors to my net worth tomorrow. But that'll be a members only video. So again, be sure to subscribe to this channel if you're not already a subscriber, and turn your notifications on, because I do other videos throughout the week, and also do a live on Thursday as well. So you want to jump in on Thursdays at 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right. Don't forget Mint Mobile below, guys. Also got a link to Mint Mobile. I use Mint Mobile. Where's my cell phone? I use Mint Mobile. Premium plans for on the low, right? And it uses the largest 5G network in the world. Okay, so it's solid, and they cut out the middleman. They have no stores. They have no salespeople, and a lot of times when you're doing business, the greatest amount of money you're going to spend is on labor, right? So they cut those things out, and they also have good customer service, really solid customer service in the meanwhile as well. So check them out. There'll be a link to that description below, guys. And let me just glance back up. Let's see, Miss V. Thank you so much for the super chat, Miss V. Good to have you here. Appreciate you being in here, by the way. That stuck out because it's blue, and some of you guys are asking a few other questions. Yep, $2.99. So I might have missed some of your questions. If I did, I apologize. But please be sure to drop that question, that comment below in the chat. So this was a long one, but it was about money. All of us use money. Many of us are going to use money today, right? So it's always good to have a good conversation about money that's down to earth and that is commonsensical and that can help a lot of folks. So as I always say, guys, when I check out, I appreciate you being here. This channel wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. So I thank you so much, more than you know. And the best person who's going to take care of the old you is the young you. Guys, take good care of yourself, but also you want to also take care of other people as well. All right? Until the next video, peace.